Okay, so we are in Alaska, apparently. I was looking up another one in Alaska and could find very limited information on it. And I came across this one, and we'll see what kind of information we can find on it. It said it's disturbing. Arrest of former APD officer creates shockwaves. Victims advocate says. Now, it's a lengthy article, but the video does a good job of saying everything that article does. So we're going to listen to the video and we're going to follow it and see if we can find a conclusion to it. Also, I would like to note 93% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. You have your phone in your hand, you're sitting at your computer. I don't know what the problem is. All you gotta do is click the button and I'll stop the harassment. Anyway, let's see what this one's about.
Resigned as a former Anchorage police officer faces multiple sexual assault charges, along with prosecutors saying that he committed burglary, stalking, and committed computer crimes. Leaders from an Anchorage sexual assault resource group says what's most alarming is the accused 33-year-old was an active officer at the time prosecutors say that he committed the crimes. Georgina Fernandez tells us their concern comes as Anchorage police say there are likely more victims. Georgina.
Yeah, Rebecca, that concern about former APD officer and Navy veteran Scott Boneta, whose charges, as he said, include sexual assault, comes as advocates worry about the position of power Boneta held before APD says he resigned last month. Boneta appeared in court yesterday to hear prosecutors' charges after his accusers reported he sexually assaulted them last December, in December of 2022. Part of the stalking allegations is the accuser says they have video of Boneta trying to break into their residence with a gun Sunday, the same day he was arrested.
When they're, found to be committing crimes, that's disturbing on many levels. But, particularly for sexual assault survivors, this can be, like you said, very triggering.
That triggering event is why resources are live on our website page right now. As far as this case, prosecutors' charging documents take us back to 2014. That's when they say Boneta returned home to Alaska after leaving the Navy, and around that time joined a support group. In 2022, the report says Boneta met the accuser, who he says he recognized from the time he was in that group. Then in December 2022, the accuser said Boneta assaulted them. In August 2023, prosecutors say Boneta began using databases, including the APD database, to look up information on people who were connected to that support group. On August 13th, police began investigating Boneta after he said people were trying to kill him. On August 30th, APD received an audit that said Boneta used APD resources to look up those people. Sometime between then and September 28th, Boneta was then admitted into a military mental health hospital. On September 28th, APD says he resigned. Now, APD tells us each of their applicants must pass a background check, including psychological screenings and also a polygraph. But once an employee is hired, APD says an employee will not undergo another psychological screening unless APD finds a reason for it.
Every year, they should go through a psychological evaluation every year. And also, when it's a medical procedure, we can't know every year. Because all they do is bitch and moan about how tough their job is, how stressful their job is. Then psychological evaluation every 365 days.
So as an employer, we don't administer medical events or employees without cause. So there definitely has to be a valid reason for that. And then there are other opportunities. For example, if an employee promotes into a specialty team, such as our special weapons and tactics team or crisis negotiation team.
Prosecutors allege several crimes occurred while Boneta was still an APD employee. I asked APD about what types of psychological testing Boneta may have taken. I'm still waiting for an answer. And as we mentioned, detectives say there may be other victims. You know anything, call Anchorage Police. We have resources posted right now on alaskasnewssource.com.
Yes, and their comment to that is going to be...
Discover your new dog.
No comment. You already know it is. So Alaska has decided that they're going to put information out. Anchorage Police to publicly disclose all officers' arrests under new directive. So I thought, wow, I might find something here. The Anchorage Police Department plans to begin notifying the public about all officers who are criminally charged, a change that comes after an off-duty officer was charged with driving a patrol car while intoxicated on Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson last month. My brother-in-law used to be stationed there years ago. The department did not issue any kind of public notification about 24-year-old Ethan Copeland's criminal charges in December. The situation first came to light in media reports early this month. The arrest was first reported by Alaska's news source. Okay, that's one. Police spokeswoman confirmed last week in response to a request from the Anchorage Daily News that the department also did not notify the public when 2 other officers were charged separately with similar crimes in 2022-2023. Did not notify the public. Public disclosure. Police spokeswoman Sonny Guerin said in an email this week the officers were off duty. The department's internal communications were faulty, and the community relations unit that produces public statements, among other duties, was not notified about the criminal charges, she said. So the left hand don't know what the right hand's doing. We're going to make it publicly available until we decide not to, and then we're going to come up with some bullshit why we didn't make it publicly available. Anchorage police have publicly released information in another case involving an officer breaking the law, including in October when former officer Scott Boneta was arrested for, I know how YouTube is, the news can say it, but I can't, so I pointed out. So I thought we'd get somewhere here. The department doesn't have a formal policy in place about notifying the public when an officer is charged with a crime. What doesn't, but what do we just read? But a new directive issued by Chief Michael Curley after multiple media outlets reported on Copeland's arrest states that the department will begin notifying the public about such situations going forward. Guerin said the directive was an internal decision by the chief that was communicated verbally to the command staff and community relations unit on January 8th, following several discussions and meetings on the topic, she said. There's a chief. Because the directive isn't a formal policy, it could change if leadership does. Yes, and it could change just based on what occurs. Sharing information going forward demonstrates transparency in our department and shows the community our department takes allegations seriously and are committed to holding our officers accountable for their actions. She said in an email, did she? Copeland is no longer employed by the department, Guerin said this week. He is scheduled for his first court appearance later this month on charges of operating under the influence and for having a firearm with him while he was drunk. Copeland was stopped December 9th by Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson security at an aircraft hangar, driving a patrol car with lights and a siren, but not marked with clear APD logos on the side, authorities have said. Probably his POV that he made to look like that, so he can just drive up and down the road and people will think must be law enforcement and not bother him. And he'd be drunk. He was attending a holiday event and arrived visibly intoxicated, a spokeswoman for the base has said. He also had a personal firearm with him, police said. Wow, that's a enhancement. Not for the Blue Line. Copeland listed the base as his home address on court documents he signed the day of his arrest. He declined to comment when reached for the story. Copeland remains a part-time member of the Alaska Army National Guard assigned to the 1st Battalion, 297th Infantry Regiment, spokesman Alan Brown said on Wednesday. One of the other arrests involved off-duty Anchorage police officer occurred the month before Copeland's. Jameson Major was arrested when an officer in front of APD headquarters saw Major's Jeep Wrangler take off at a recklessly high rate of speed and fishtail while driving on 4th Avenue on November 12th, according to a summary of police reports written by Chief Assistant Attorney General Jenna Grunstein and included with the charges. During a traffic stop, the officer noted Major smelled of alcohol and his eyes were bloodshot. The summary said Major's blood alcohol level was measured at 1.5. I thought it was 112. I was like, he was dead 1.5 times the legal limit for driving, the summary said. He did not directly answer when officer asked if Major had a firearm with him or in the Wrangler. The summary said he had a personal firearm with him during the stop, according to Guerin, however you pronounce it. Major is on leave from the department, Guerin said. See what happens? They start getting in trouble and they leave. And they say, well, we don't have jurisdiction over them, so they just go somewhere else and become somebody else's issue. The other arrest of an off-duty Anchorage officer confirmed by police last week took place in Palmer in January 2022. Former Officer Patrick O'Connor was stopped by a Palmer Police Department officer when he was seen using his blinker incorrectly for turns and weaving back and forth between lanes near and on the Glen Highway, according to a sworn affidavit written by Palmer Officer Michael J. Lynch and filed in the case. He was charged after performing poorly on field sobriety tests and admitted to drinking, the affidavit said. He also had a personal firearm with him during the stop, according to Guerin. O'Connor is no longer employed at the department, Guerin said. He was since pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of driving under influence. The enhancement of the weapons charge was dropped. The department is or has conducted internal investigations in all three officers' conducts, Guerin said. The findings of such investigation are confidential. The findings are confidential. Why are the findings confidential? Darrell Evans, president of the Anchorage Police Department Employees Association, said the union takes criminal allegations against officers seriously, but noted that the accused officers are innocent until proven guilty. Yes, but you can't find any proven guilty, and they're leaving, and they're running, and they're hiding. So I noticed his name back here. You could click on it, so I thought I'd see where that would take us, since they're not going to tell us. Surely we'll find something out here. Former Anchorage police officer charged with assault, again, back to October 2023. 33-year-old former Anchorage police department officer was arrested late Sunday on charges and also faces numerous other felony charges, according to a criminal case made public Monday. Officers on Sunday became aware of that occurred in December 2022 or January 2023 involving Scott Boneta, the department said in an online release. Detectives with the Special Victims Unit immediately began a comprehensive criminal investigation, police said. SVU, there's be a show. Boneta was an officer with the department for 3.5 years and was assigned to patrol, the department said. He was placed on leave in August and is no longer employed by the department, according to his statement. See, they leave and everything goes away. He was taken into custody just before 10:30 p.m. Sunday, questioned by detectives, and taken to the Anchorage jail. Police said he is facing charges of first degree burglary, stalking, and 7 counts of criminal use of a computer. He remained in custody on Monday. The alleged crimes occurred while he was a police officer. Police said he was not on duty during the alleged burglary and stalking incidents. There's a degenerate. He wasn't on duty. What difference does that make? The charging documents in the case lays out a narrative of escalation concerns about the officer's behavior. Boneta was hired in 2019 as a patrol officer, the department said. The department started investigating Boneta on August 13th, the document said. When he expressed concerns to command that he did not want to go on duty for fear that others wanted to harm him. He told detectives he believed a woman he had dated on and off, members of a veterans group he had been part of on Facebook, and possibly members of his own family, wanted to kill him, the narrative said. He told officers he improperly used a police database and other protected private information to research people outside of the scope of his work as law enforcement officer, the charges said. During the interview, Boneta spoke disjointedly and illogically and referencing having powers and spoke of Illuminati, Freemasons, and Wiccans, the charges said. At the end of August, the department put Boneta on leave and he checked into a private psychiatric facility for veterans, according to the charges. As of Thursday, September 28th, Boneta was no longer an Anchorage Police Department employee, the charges said. The next day, Friday, Anchorage police officers went to Boneta's house on a welfare check and found him sitting in a dark house, appearing gaunt, the charges said. Boneta told officers he could be frightening because a lot of people don't understand what I can do, according to the charges. Boneta later texted one of the officers who had been on the welfare check, his former colleague, calling her my child and my dear, the charges said. Then on Sunday, a spokeswoman contacted APD to report that Boneta was stalking her house. In an interview with police, she said that she had been by Boneta in late 2022 or early 2023, and that since then, he had shown up to her gym and other places he knew she would be, the charges said. She was scared of him, had begun sleeping with a gun by her bed, and had installed extra locks and a home security camera, charges said. The made her feel ashamed, sad, angry, and that until reporting it to police, she had not told anyone, the charges said. The camera, the charges say one more time? The charges said, had recorded him early Sunday afternoon coming to her house with a gun in his waistband, appearing to try to get in. Police found Boneta Sunday night at Lake Otis Parkway and to the road and arrested him, the charges said. The release from the department included a statement from Police Chief Michael Curley saying Boneta's actions in no way reflect the high standard and values of law enforcement profession. Oh Lord, put your feet up. The shit's getting deep. We have zero tolerance for any criminal or inappropriate conduct by our officers, and we'll hold them accountable for their actions, will you? Because we just saw earlier where you didn't. Just let them leave. At his first court appearance on Monday, an Anchorage Superior Court judge set bail for Boneta at $200,000 cash with a third-party custodian required. He remains in Anchorage jail. Now, third-party custodian required. That is not a big deal. It could be a family member, an acquaintance, anybody really that he knows that will agree to take responsibility for him, and they will just release him into their care. And the only stipulations that they have is that he has to follow any court-imposed shit that the court says he has to do, and then they have to report any violations that he commits. Do you think they're going to do that? He's a police officer, for crying out loud, and he's been doing this shit, and then they just let him leave. You're done now. You won't be a cop no more. You can go. Okay. He remains in Anchorage jail. Police said the investigation continues and detectives believe there may be other victims. Anyone with information is encouraged to call APD dispatch at 311 and reference ABD case 23-31886. Correction, an earlier version of the story incorrectly reported that Boneta was off duty during all the incidents he is charged with. Police said he was not on duty for the alleged burglary, stalking, and incorrectly reported that Boneta was off duty during all of the incidents he is charged with. Police said he was not on duty for the alleged burglary, stalking, and... Well, it says he incorrectly reported he was off duty, but then the police said he was not on duty. So if he's not on duty, he's off duty. Anyway, maybe I'm tired and I'm just not paying attention to that. So if I read that incorrectly, let me know. But yeah, I'm just saying. And this is... 2023. I can't find shit more about this degenerate. Zero. Nothing. Nada. Don't know. He's like a ghost. So, know what you think about this degenerate in the comments, and if anybody has any information on him, feel free to link it. Let me know what you think about this one. Also, again, 93% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. I don't know what you're waiting on. Got your phone in your hand. You're at your computer. All I gotta do is click the button. I'll stop the harassment and we'll be done with it. It will just be like that quick. I'll send them more about it. Anyway, let me know what you think about this degenerate. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.